And I feel like the only thing that holds you back is fear. But my biggest fear out there is like living life with regret. Like Welcome back to Drinks After Work with Shannen and Abby, where we give you that after work happy hour energy and talk about everything other than work.
Yes, welcome back. If you're
yeah,
I don't know. Don't judge me. This is a judgment-free zone.
No, it's not. Keep going.
Okay, welcome back. It's episode 18. We're almost on 20 toes. 20 toes and hands. 20 fingers and hands, toes.
We're almost on 20 toes.
Hell yeah. If you're new here, make sure you guys follow us on social media. It's at Drinks After Work _ on Instagram and at Drinks After Work _ on TikTok.
Yeah, go throw us a follow.
Yes, and if you haven't, if you're a girl and you're a baddie and you live in Boston, join our Facebook group. Join our private Facebook group for Boston Baddies.
Absolutely.
We hit over 900 members since we last recorded. I love that for us.
I love it too. It's so fun. It's like a little community.
I know.
Okay. So guys, you know the drill. Commercial break. We've said it before and we'll say it again. Ladies, there is nothing worse than a guy whose idea of taking care of themselves is using a bar of soap and then calling it a day. Am I right?
Men are like so blessed. They can literally get away with like the bare minimum.
Yeah, they don't have to do shit. They don't have to do facials, IPL treatments. They don't do any of it.
No.
All that we ask, the only thing we ask is that they can be manicured,
just well-groomed, from head to toe.
Just be well-groomed.
And how are you going to do that?
Manscaped,
baby. We have here the performance package. It has everything you need to have your girl thanking you. And you know, we couldn't just like show you this dope package and not offer something.
Absolutely. So Manscaped, they're a really fun company, guys. So head over to manscaped.com. They have a wide array of products, like we said, to get you groomed from your head to your toe so that your girl will stop bitching to you about your lack of manicuring. So head over there, use code BIGNIGHT for 20% off plus free shipping. You're welcome.
What's better than that?
You're welcome.
I'll tell you what's better than that. I'm a little biased, but if you guys didn't know, we officially have merch. So you can go to the link in our bio to cop your DAW hoodie or sticker or hat, whatever it is you want. Go cop it. But we had to like shout you guys out and give you guys a huge thank you because at Big Night, we have a merch competition every single month, and we won for the month of March because we sold the most merch.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so thank you guys to everyone that has already purchased anything from our shop. We really appreciate it, and now we get to rub it in everyone else's face that we're the podcast that sold the most merch for the month of March. So let's do it again for April. How about that?
Let's do it again. Let's run it back.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. It's honestly amazing. And every single time we get a little notification on Instagram that you guys are wearing a hoodie or a crop sweatshirt or whatever it is, we get so excited. So keep it going.
Yes. Okay, so also we just have so many updates, but so I know we teased like a month or so ago, Sip and Dip, and it took us a while to get episode 2 out, but she's out. And now, yes. So last week we posted Sip and Dip episode 2 at Bodega. So if you haven't already, go listen to it, give it a watch. And then this week we are dropping episode 3 at Citrus and Salt.
You know, it's so funny. So Sam, who is our producer, whom we love, we talk about him all the time. So he's like, hey guys, I'm going to Citrus and Salt with my girl this weekend. I know you guys went there for Sip and Dip. Can you tell us like where what we should order, like what drinks? And
you would think, being like all the hard work that Sam does for us, you would think that we'd be like, oh my God, we got you. Get this, order this. No. You can find out when you edit Sip and Dip, Sam. We were like, you have to wait like the rest of everyone.
We're like, Sam, wait till you. It's so funny because you and I were synonymous. Like, not one of us was like willing to give him any information. We were like, Sam, this is fucking Fight Club. We're not giving you any information until you watch or until you edit our vlog. So
yeah, you can find out and take notes while you edit. So sorry.
Okay, so it's spring, right?
Spring has sprung.
Spring has sprung upon us.
It has.
How are we feeling? Do you feel different? Like a new woman?
I feel like, yes, because I feel like my seasonal depression is slowly melting away.
Starting to subside?
Yes.
Is your therapist ecstatic?
I ghosted her.
Why?
So probably not.
She's not ecstatic.
She's probably not ecstatic because I'm ghosting her.
Wait, how long have you ghosted her?
It's been a couple months.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you feel like you're doing well, like mentally?
No. But like... still here.
We're still here.
We're still thriving.
We're not thriving, but we're surviving.
We're surviving.
And thriving.
Because
we're surviving.
Yes. Boom. Nailed it.
Boom.
Yes. But I'm honestly not thriving right now because I forgot my little phone stand and I just feel off.
Yeah, I know.
I just like, I'm using my cup to like lean my phone up against it and I'm just like not about it.
You're like that though. Like for those of you watching on YouTube in the studio, we have like these pink lights in here, and Abby, if you mess with her pink lights, like she will come for you and she will kill you. Like she's like, Sam, get the pink lights up. And if Sam's like, well, you know, one of the lights is out, she's like, then we're not recording. We'll come back another day.
He tried to tell us today that they were dead because they were in fact dead. But I know for a fact that they have 2 sets of the lights, and I was like, get them out, Sam. Come on. Don't mess with me. We got a podcast to film.
Exactly. Okay, so Easter. Easter was this past weekend.
Yeah, I didn't see you this weekend. It was sad.
Yeah, I know. I took the train back to my parents' house.
You took the train?
The train.
You took public transportation.
I took the Amtrak.
I'm so proud.
To UNH, to Durham, and then my parents picked me up. So it's me, my backpack on with my work laptop, my editing laptop. In the front, I had another backpack with my 2 kittens in it, and then I had like an overnight bag. That was what was walking into the train station.
What a shit show.
People were very concerned. They were like, what's happening here? And I was like, well, you know.
Were you alone or were you
I was by myself.
Were?
Yes.
Oh God. I wish I could have been there to watch that shit show.
It was a little disturbing though, because I had this backpack in front of me, like a big backpack. So I think people were kind of like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, it's just my cats. And they were like, okay, fine.
They were either relieved to see the cats or like kind of concerned.
They were concerned. They were like, this girl's lost her marbles. It's okay. I was like, you know, 9 months into COVID, what are you going to do, right? And they were like, amen, sister.
It's concerning that you think it's only been 9 months.
A year.
It's literally been a year.
COVID. Okay, well, I've officially lost it. How was your Easter?
My Easter was good. I went home, but before I went home, Mystery Man and I had a spontaneous trip to the mall.
You were like, it took a while to say you had a what? I was like, something happened.
No, I was trying to think of the word spontaneous. I couldn't think of it. I was like, it's on the tip of my tongue.
There's so many words out there.
I was like, what's the word? Last minute, unplanned, spontaneous trip to the mall. Because I honestly don't even know I don't know if it was because he wanted a new Easter outfit or he just wanted to go shopping and he ended up wearing it on Easter. But we went to the mall and he ended up buying a whole new outfit, like literally new shirt, new pants, new shoes, new belt, like literally the whole.
Have you ever met a guy that's shopped more than you?
No, you don't need to even finish the sentence because the answer is no.
He shops so much. So much. He loves clothes.
Honestly, I love that for him. Love that for me because he looked fine on Easter. So good for him.
Honestly, so funny though, because before you guys started dating, I remember this was like a year or 2 ago. I went to the mall with Michael and him and like one of Michael's other guy friends, and we were going shopping and he was just like in such a good mood. Like he was just like hopping around and like the other guys were like being dragged from store to store and they were like, ugh. And he's like, Shannen, he's like, I love shopping. I was like, okay.
After like the 3rd store, he was like, so do you regret coming with me? I was like, what? No,
girls love it.
Do girls normally hate shopping? I don't know.
That's honestly, I love that though, because I think that the art of dressing up for holidays, maybe I'm super old fashioned, but I love dressing up. I love it.
Yeah, you do. Look at what you're wearing today.
It makes me happy. It makes me genuinely like filled with joy when I can dress up. I don't know what it is, but like I was talking to my mom about this because obviously Easter this year, a lot of people are just kind of chilling at home with their immediate family and no one's dressing up because what's the need?
Right.
Which I understand, and I'm not holding judgment against anyone. It's just like a personal thing for me where I'm like, one day when I have my own family and my own house, I'm going to make Easter attire mandatory formal, like not even business casual, just formal. And if you don't
like suit and tie, like
wear like a dress. Like I want like Gossip Girl like type Thanksgiving. Like Gossip Girl Thanksgiving. That's what I want.
We got to get you to New York.
I know.
It's so true though, because when we worked at the same job and it was before COVID and we were in the office, like, and even before we were even like really friends, like I would see you walk in the hallway and I'd be like, who's that girl and where is she going? Why does she look so good? Why is she wearing high heels? Like I could never, like not even like booties with heels, like high heels.
High heels.
Like you love dressing up.
Yes. I think I never grew out of like the dress up stage when you're like a little kid and you play dress up. Never grew out of it. I don't know what it is, but this obviously the past year has not been good for me because I want to know if there's going to come a time in the future where it's going to be socially acceptable to wear dress up clothes and not wear sweats every single day. And it's like, I feel like these days, do you feel like there's like this weird, it's like a competition where like sweatpants are now really expensive. Like I feel like they used to be $30 and now it's like $300 for a nice pair of sweatpants. And I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah. Okay. So literally, and girls, if you're looking for like a new pair of sweatpants that you really like, Garage has the best boyfriend joggers, and they're like, I don't know, I actually don't know how much, but they're like, I think they're $40 and they're so soft. And I literally have like 10 different colors. Yeah. But you're so right. Like the amount, and like I've literally bought 10 pairs of Garage sweatpants in the past year.
They're so cute.
And it's like my closet, like my like dresser at home is like, has been replaced. Like I literally took out all my work pants and just filled them with sweatpants. Really? And now it's just overflowing with sweatpants. And it's a problem. And it's like, if you go out now and you like dress even like remotely nice, people are like, whoa, what are you doing? Why are you trying so hard?
Yeah. Like I walked into places before wearing like jeans and a nice top. People are like, what are you doing? Where'd you come from?
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. Nowhere, my house.
Austin, my house. Well, no, it's so true. And like, do you ever feel like, I feel like I need to like learn how to like dress again. Like, I don't know like what to wear. Because, to
be honest, I didn't really know how to dress before, but I feel you. Like maybe now is a good time for me to learn.
No, that's not true at all. Okay. There's some girls who I feel like have perfected like the grungy kind of like casual, cute phase. I've never been that girl. I've always been like more is more.
What do you mean like grungy?
Okay, I don't mean grungy. I'm like I
don't even know what that
the word. I guess really I mean casual, like just
like streetwear, like streetwear,
cute. Yeah, sweatpants, sweatshirts, like a crop top with cute sweatpants.
Who's the Hadid? One of like
Bella, Gigi.
One of them I feel like wears or like made it, or was it honestly Hailey Bieber who kind of made Hailey like Bieber comfy clothes cute?
Yeah. She's been like a big person that's done that. I mean, but she looks amazing in everything.
She does.
And I think
that was a bad example.
She knows how to dress. That's the thing. Like my sister's the same way. Like she could wear a pair of sweatpants and a crop top and she looks like $1,000,000. I just don't think I'm that person. Like when I wear a pair of sweatpants and a crop top, like I look like I just crawled out of like some gutter, and I just don't think that's not true. I just don't think it works for me. But I also just think like there's this whole nother like level of style right now, which is kind of interesting, where you can be even like the fashion icons. Like you can be wearing sweatpants, you could be wearing a sweatshirt, you could be wearing joggers, but you can do it in a way where you still look so good.
Yeah,
you know
and like put together.
Like, like your nails are done. You might even be wearing like somehow high heels, but you're wearing like sweatpants.
And accessories. Accessories are so huge.
So big right now.
Like
your hair slicks back.
Gold hoops and like a like statement necklace, like what you're wearing or what I'm wearing. We'll just dress up a whole outfit, like a casual outfit.
And it's interesting how the trends have changed too. Like it used to be when we were in college that you would like makeup would be like more is more. Like you would have your entire face caked with makeup. You'd put on your bronzer, your highlighter, your blush. You put like the cat eye eyeshadow, like whatever, like you do all of it.
Yeah.
And these days, because of quarantine, I feel like the whole look is like kind of like naturally pretty.
Yeah, minimalistic makeup.
Exactly. But the interesting part is that little do these poor boys know that we're also getting way more Botox and filler these days than we used to. So we're wearing less makeup, but we're doing more shit to our face. So I feel like all these girls are like, yeah, like I'm just so focused on like a really nice, clean, natural look. But I'm like, bitch, you pump your face full of Botox, full of fillers. So like, fuck out of here with that.
Well, luckily for me, I never really like, and I still don't really know how to do makeup. Like eyeshadow, eyeliner just wasn't my thing ever. And I don't think I'm going to start to learn now.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of here for the minimalistic makeup look trend. I hope it stays. But however, I wouldn't mind like wearing nice clothes to come back to style because it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Like all my nice clothes are just in my dresser, or I mean in my closet, and they just sit there. And I'm like, when will I ever get to wear them again? But
I would love to know.
Do you dress up for like, because your new job, you go into the office sometimes. Do you have to dress up?
No, which is like honestly like a change for me, because like when we used to work together, like you could only wear jeans on like Fridays, and then it was like business casual every other day, but like I could wear jeans like any day of the week there.
Okay, so it's casual.
It's like business casual. Like you obviously like you can't wear like holes in your jeans or anything like that.
Right.
But like yeah, it's just like I don't have to wear like dress pants if I don't want to.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But obviously because I'm new, I'm like obviously like putting in more effort in my appearance. But like I'm sure that will slowly stop.
Abby's like, give me like a month or two, and I'm just like, I'm thinking of like the people who used to wear sweatpants in high school. That's
my God, no. I would never wear sweatpants to work.
I know, I'm not saying you would. I just had that visual all of a sudden.
Oh God.
But like, are you how are you liking it? Like, is it good? Your job?
Yeah. It is. Yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm happy to be back working.
You
being
seem happy.
Yeah.
You seem good. Like you seem like you're in a really good place.
Well, because I don't do well when like I don't have a routine. You know what I mean? And now I'm like back in my routine. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll like make like, because I remember, so Shannen and I, if you guys don't follow us on TikTok, you should. But like we've posted now 2 day in my life videos on TikTok, which are both days in Shannen's life, because she was like, Abby, like you should probably do it. And I was like, yeah, maybe when like I actually have a life again and like have a routine.
Which was just really sad.
I know. But now I have one. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll film one now.
You've always had one.
Yeah, it's just not worth watching before.
No, it's true though. I think that the more that you, and this goes for like if you have like a weekend where you sleep the whole time, like you're like more tired in a weird way, and like you're just like fall into this like weird, I feel like I get that.
Yeah.
But you're happy now. You have your routine back. You have you have a new job.
Yeah. I have no complaints.
Good. That's awesome. So you don't feel like you're like super stressed out? I feel like
I wouldn't say that.
I just feel like taking it all back in at once would be a lot for me. You know what I mean? Because it's almost like when you graduate college and you go back into work and all of a sudden you're like, shit. Like I have to like wake up early. I have to learn how to like manage my calendar. I have to deal with all this stuff all the time.
Yeah, I think starting a new job is definitely scary, but I think starting a new job remotely is a little bit easier.
Okay.
But I think given my like job itself, like being an EA, that's an executive assistant for anyone that doesn't know, I think that's kind of like it's kind of like a known thing that it's like you're gonna be stressed because there's always something that you could be doing.
Really?
Yeah.
Like in what way?
I don't know. It's just like basically like my whole thing is like, okay, how can I make this person's life better and easier? Right. And like I've already gotten positive feedback from like my boss saying like, he's like, oh my God, like my calendar is like so much better, like blah, blah, blah. I can breathe now, like da, da, da. But it's like, okay, but like what can I be doing? And like I'm always constantly like thinking, and like especially with COVID and like being at home, like you can always work.
That's so true.
Like there's never like I could literally cook dinner and then like because I honestly get emails like at all hours, like literally, especially I don't know if it's maybe like just the industry that I'm in, but like they are just, I feel like workaholics because they're so passionate about what they do.
Right.
And they're just nonstop working. So I literally get emails at all hours of the day, like wicked early in the morning, wicked late at night, and it's hard for me to like disconnect and be like, okay, Abby, no, it can wait.
Yeah, no, that's such a good point, actually. And I didn't even think of that because you're like managing someone's life. So it's like so important to you. You're like, okay, I want to make sure that I'm doing everything to make this person's life easier, which makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot of pressure sometimes. It's like, yeah, no big deal. It's just like your whole life is in my hands. It's fine.
No big deal. Well, I feel like that's the case for so many jobs, though. Like, I think you graduate college and you don't realize, I don't know, you just don't realize how much that work is going to start consuming your life.
Yeah, and I feel like for some people it literally becomes their whole identity.
Their whole life and their whole identity. You're
their
right.
whole life, their whole identity. And that's not healthy. And I think that like you literally graduate college, they hand you a diploma and they're like, okay, now you're going to work until you're at least 65. Here's a boatload of stress for the rest of your life.
It's
Congrats.
also like your whole life you've been prepping for this. So you get to elementary school, middle school, high school, college, and they're like, someday you're going to get a job. Someday you're going to get a job. And then someday happens. And you wake up one day and you're like, shit, I just graduated college. Now I need a job. You got one. And you've been groomed for this your whole life. So in your head, you're like, okay, this has got to be like, this is what I've worked for. Right. So you make it your whole life. And I feel like when I graduated, it was the same shit. Like I got a job and in my mind, I was like, this is the most important thing in my life. Like, this is what everything I've worked for up until this point has been for this. So this is my whole life now. And I feel like I made my job my life.
Okay, so there's like pros and cons to that.
Right.
Because like obviously like when you like put your whole heart into something, because I honestly believe that like if you're going to do something, you might as well do it right and give your all, because like especially with me, like if my name is on it, like I want to make sure that I'm proud of my work.
Absolutely.
But at the same point, it's like, okay, if you make that like your number one priority and you're putting like your own sanity, your mental health, like your well-being, and like you're putting everything else to the side, like your family, friends, hobbies, sleep, exercise, eating healthy. Like if you put it to the side, like that's literally going to end up showing.
So true. And it's actually going to end up hurting you.
It will. Yeah.
That's what happened to me. So I mean, I'm in the same job now that I was in when I graduated college. I started interning at my company. I love my company. I love my job. And it's been a great ride. But I think when I look back at my career so far, the issues that have occurred have been because of me, which is fine. It's a learning experience, right? Like I'm 26 now. I've learned a lot the past 4 years, and I'm sure I'll learn a lot in the next 10. But I just think that when I reached a point where I started to prioritize my life as the only thing that mattered, and like you said, I started skipping out on sleeping or hanging out with my friends or my mental health or having a hobby. Like I just only focused on work. Like there was a point where I didn't work out for a year. I didn't go to the gym. Not that I think that's the most important thing, but I always.
But if it matters to you, you should make time for it. You should always make time for the things that you care about.
And I just pushed it to the side because I was like, okay, well, no, I have to stay in the office till however late at night, which is okay. It's okay to work hard. But I think mentally I made it my whole life. So what ended up happening that was kind of scary looking back now is I reached a point where I started to like value like how I felt about myself, like on like how I was doing at work,
like your work performance.
Exactly. So, and I think this is 100% on me. Like I don't really think it mattered what career I was in. I think it's just like my personality type.
Yeah.
I'm like kind of intense person, and I was like, okay, I want to be the best. I want to do this. I want to do that. And if I had a bad month at work because work was my entire life and all I really cared about for so many years, I started to feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm a failure as a human being, which I feel like is just so
sad.
Right. It's just not, and it's also not right. It's not correct.
No, because sometimes you like try something out and you realize that it's like you're not cut out for it. And like I feel like so many people like try to force things to happen.
Right.
Whereas like you, like that wasn't the case for you, but I feel like there's so many people that are like in jobs that they're miserable because they hate what they're doing.
Right.
They don't enjoy it. They don't find any joy in it. And like, obviously there's going to be parts of everyone's job that they don't like, but overall, like if you're in a profession that you don't like and you're just forcing it to happen because maybe your parents think that you should be doing it or something, like, well, then what are you living for?
Exactly. I just think that there's this weird thing right now where we almost like glamorize being a workaholic. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like every other type of aholic is a bad thing except for being a work.
Wait, that's so true.
Like, it's like, okay, if you're
alcoholic,
bad.
Workaholic,
good.
Yeah.
Good job. No, like, keep doing that. Like, that's socially acceptable. Which, again, like, there's those people out there that they can perform that way and good for them. I think the issue with me was that, like, I'm someone that just needs other things in my life. So what ended up happening was I worked so hard and like tried so hard, and when things wouldn't go my way, I just like was completely defeated and actually ended up hurting my work performance. You know what I mean? Whereas now it's like, and I'm not saying you shouldn't work as hard. That's the thing. Like I probably work just as hard today as I did 2 years ago. The difference is like my mentality. Like when I leave work now, I'm like, okay, work is done. It's time for me to focus on something else in my life, versus like back then it was like I would lay awake at night until like 3 a.m. just thinking about my job. And I was like, how can I do better? How can I do better? And that was just so not good for my mental health.
No, yeah, you'll drive yourself insane that way.
Yeah.
But that's so that's important that you said that. Like I think, and like I'm such a hypocrite because I feel like up until a year ago I didn't really like have like a hobby that I like enjoyed doing. But I think it's like so important that you do have hobbies so that when you do leave work, you have something to look forward to. You have something that will distract you. Because like the podcast for me.
Right.
Going to bar class, like just like little things.
A break.
Yeah, just a break and like something to look forward to and like disconnect is like extremely important. And if you can make money doing a hobby that you love, aka like a podcast, for example, that's just a bonus.
I agree. I like always look up to my sister, even though she's my younger sister. I look up to her so much. And she always says when she talks to people like from her job, she's like, I think once you get a job that you like, the first thing you should do is get a hobby. And she was like, it shouldn't take away from your job. You should put just as much effort in, but you should get a hobby. And she said like what you just said, the reason is because you should have something on the side that you can look forward to. Human beings like to have something new, like some sort of change. And when they feel like they're doing the same thing over and over again, it leads to obsessiveness and burnout and all that stuff. So she was like, you need to have something on the side that you can be like, okay, when I'm done with work today, I can go. I mean, she paints, like she's an artist. So she goes and does that. But
an amazing artist, check her out.
She's amazing.
Instagram.
Yeah, it's Bianca Jules Studio. Yes, on Instagram. So go follow her. She's amazing. But that's her biggest thing. And she's like, her second thing that she always talks about is by the time you're 30, by the time she's 30, she's like, you should have 3 streams of income. And it should be your main job, your side hustle, if you can profit off of your side hustle, whatever that may be. And the third should be some sort of investment. So whether that's crypto, Bitcoin, or if it's just, investing in the stock market, housing market,
on the third one,
buying a house, whatever it is. She's like, you should have 3 streams of revenue. So that's her thing, like kind of her mantra that she lives by, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It is. But I just think it's interesting because I used to, like, if you asked me 2 years ago what I thought of like work-life balance, like people were like, oh, I want a work-life balance. I value work-life balance. I was such a hardo back then. I was like, work-life balance, that sounds like someone that's super lazy and all they care about is unlimited PTO and getting out of work early and sleeping in. But
that's not true at all.
It's not true, right?
Yeah, I feel, you're so right. There is like a stigma around work-life balance. And like, I remember when I applied for my first big girl job out of college, the application had me rank. It was like, okay, rate what's most important to you. It was like work-life balance, like money, what was it? Like opportunity for growth. There was like 5 different things. And it said rank them. And I didn't know if like work-life balance was like a test or not. Like I didn't know if I should rank it like that is important to me or like have it towards the bottom. Like, no, it's not important to me. Like being able to like grow within my career is more important to me. But like honestly, like as I've gotten older, it's become way more important to me.
Right.
Because I've realized that like you could, I mean, obviously money is important and having a job where there is room for growth is important, but also like so is work-life balance, because all the money in the world isn't going to make you happy.
Right.
Will it solve a lot of your problems? Yeah. But like at the end of the day, it's not going to make you happy. What's going to make you happy is having a work-life balance and having friends and family that you actually spend time with.
Right.
And like, what's the point of having a shit ton of money if you don't have time to spend it?
True. That's a good point. I also think too with work-life balance, I didn't realize that it's much more of a mentality than it is a call to action. So you can work just as hard in your job and be just as accomplished, but like mentally, it's like you're going to prioritize other things too. Like I'm going to prioritize my friends. I'm going to prioritize my family, people that I love, people that I care about, things I care about, my hobbies, whatever it may be. But I can work just as hard and work just as many hours in my job. I feel like before, like work-life balance, like I didn't have one because I wasn't even thinking about anything else except for my job, which is what made it unhealthy. And I also think it's just a lot of the stuff that we're talking about right now, Abby, I think is attributed to the world that we live in.
Society, yeah.
Yeah, I just think that it's like there's this weird pressure these days to be accomplished at such a young age. Like you're like, okay, if you don't have X amount, you know, if you don't buy a house by the time you're 26, if you don't settle down and buy blah, blah, blah by the time you're 30, and you don't become a millionaire by the time you're 40, like you're a failure. And it's like, well, we hold ourselves to these standards and then we end up driving ourselves crazy when we don't hit those benchmarks. And I just think that's not realistic. And it also just, it can trap you. Like if you're in a job that you're not happy with and you're like, okay, I want to, you know, maybe change careers, but in your head, you're like, that's going to set me back 3 years and I'm not going to hit these goals. Some people would be so scared that they're not going to switch careers.
I know. And that's why I think that's where people make the biggest mistake, where it's like, it's never too late to start over. And in the grand scheme of things, like one of my really good friends, she graduated college. She graduated her undergrad.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know what she got a degree in. And she was working in Boston, and she was like a year or two post grad, and she decided that she wanted to go back to school and she wanted to go to nursing school. And like, that's not an easy decision, because that's like, I don't know how many years, 2 to 4 years. I know you can do like an accelerated course and do it less.
It's still setting you back.
It's setting you back. Yeah, absolutely. In the grand scheme of things, what is 2 to 4 years when you literally have to work until you're 65 at least?
And if you're going to be happier because
I think she liked her job. Like she was doing sales for some company, and she liked her job, but she was like, that doesn't bring me joy. That doesn't bring me like happiness and like fulfillment, and I want to do something that's going to make me happy. And she was like, I want to be a nurse. And so she made that move, and she's now in nursing school, and I'm so proud of her, because
it's amazing.
Not a lot of people have the balls to do that.
No, they don't.
And they just stay in an unhappy life and an unhappy job.
Right. Exactly. I 1000% agree. It's like the comfort of what you have now. It's like people who stay in an unhealthy relationship. Like you're in a bad situation. You probably on some level know that you are, but there's this comfort about it where you don't want to almost like charter like the waters of
unspoken. Yeah.
Exactly. Like you don't want to know, okay, well, I don't really know what's over there. I know what's over here. And it like gives you that comfort. It's the same thing with like moving to a new city. Like, okay, I'm scared. Like I know I want to move away. I know I want to do all these things. I know I want to go skydiving or, you know, backpack around Europe for a year. I mean, you can't really do that right now, but under normal circumstances, I want to go backpack around Europe. And I feel like the only thing that holds you back is fear. But my biggest fear out there is like living life with regret. Like I always say to myself that I'm so scared of not doing these things that I want to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you want to go and move to California or London or New York or Miami or wherever the hell you want to go, I think you should just do it, especially in your 20s. Because when you're married and you have kids, if that's what you want, you're not going to be able to do it then. Like this is kind of like your time. I
remember like maybe a year and a half ago, I had like an itch to move.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted to move, and I wanted like a new pace, a new change, and I didn't know where I wanted to move. I know I wanted to move somewhere warm, but I didn't know where. But I really I was heavily considering it. But you want to know what held me back? My job.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I can't leave. Like,
was it just your job?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
Like I felt such a huge like sense of like loyalty and like responsibility. I was like, why would I leave my job? I love my job. I love the people I work with. I love the person I work for. Why would I give that up and like go selfishly move to another state and like start over? And then you realize at the end of the day, business is business, and people aren't afraid to drop you, because at the end of the day, they have to do what's best for them. So you should do what's best for you.
Yeah.
And I told myself if I ever wanted to move, I would never let anyone or anything stop me from that again. But right now I'm content in Boston.
Right.
But I think
if that were to come up again, or if you could give advice to someone else, you would say,
do it.
Just do it. And it's not personal, it's business. Like you should never let your love for your job or really for anything
come in between your happiness.
Exactly.
And I think it's also like, and another piece that like also kept me back from moving was like the fear of, because I think like this generation is known for job hopping. Like they can never stay at the same job for too long. And like if they get offered the same job but more money somewhere else, they'll take it.
Right.
But and I don't want to be part of that like generation. Like I've always, and I kind of agree with how, and like not everyone has to agree or think this way, but like it doesn't, I don't think it looks that good on a resume. And I think that like if you stay somewhere and you build, like you can climb up that ladder. Right. So I was like, in the back of my head, I was like, well, if I stay, I'm gonna have to start all over. But I was like, well, what does that matter? I have my whole life to climb up a ladder.
True. Good point. I agree with you. I do think though, I will say on that, because I agree with you. I think job hopping, just like job hop, is dumb. But I think if you get a better opportunity elsewhere, or you feel like you're getting something that you're not getting out of your current situation, you should go for it. Yeah. Because I think there's more than one ways to get to success. I've seen people who have resumes where they've been all over the place. They've worked for multiple companies and they've grown and risen up their corporate ladder the way they want to. I know other people that stayed at the same company and they achieved the same goals. So I think it's just kind of whatever works.
No, it's definitely 100% situational, because I think like everyone's situation is different. But if you truly believe that like leaving this job to go to another place is going to professionally help you, and like you're going to meet your goals, and you don't think that you're going to be able to meet them at the job you're at now, then 100% leave. Yeah, exactly. Wait, what was that quote that you had that you thought was like cool? It was about working, right? It was just like, it was cool. It just said, we need to stop glamorizing overworking. The absence of sleep, good diet, exercise, relaxation, and time with friends and family is not something to be applauded. Too many people wear their burnout as a badge of honor, and that needs to change. That's so true. You know what I feel like sticks out to me with that too is like the word burnout. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, been there. You have? 100%. And you were right there with me. I feel like, I mean, there's definitely been multiple times that I've felt burnt out in my life, but definitely I would say this past summer was like the most that I've ever felt burnt out. Yeah. And like so many aspects of my life, so many, but, for those of you who are new or you haven't listened from the beginning, Shannen and I actually started Drinks After Work doing vlogs and making videos on YouTube. When was that, June? Yeah, we started like last June. Yeah. Yeah, so it hasn't even been a whole year yet. And so we started this wild journey and it was fun, but it was a lot of work. Like, it was so much work. A lot of work. Well, at the time, because I mean, those who listen to the podcast, like the podcast has officially been around since October, I think. Yeah. We signed with Big Night in like November. Right. Okay. So the podcast has been around since November, but Abby and I started Drinks After Work, the brand, back in June. And at the time we had nothing, right? It was just the two of us. And we were like, we literally recorded on my iPhone. We'd record on our iPhones. We started like kind of like a half podcast, half vlog, whatever. Our first few videos are super cringy. If you want to go check them out, don't. Yeah, just don't. Just don't. Just don't. But basically we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't have a lot of help. We had an editor that would help us sometimes, but we not really. I mean, he was awesome, but like we tried to do as much on our own as we could. It was insane. We would spend our weekends filming, like Saturdays and Sundays sometimes. Filming, and then we would edit throughout the week, and we both had jobs where we would have to work till like 6 or 7 p.m. Yeah. So we'd get out of work at like 7 and Abby would come over. We'd work till 1 in the morning. Yeah. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I can't even explain like how exhausting it was, and honestly, anyone who like doesn't really get like the whole YouTube thing, like anyone that doesn't think that that's like hard work, or like being a YouTube, I feel like being a YouTuber is like so like frowned upon and like looked down on, but like I give so much credit to YouTubers because it's not easy. Now when I see people who like post like the daily vlogs and like blah blah blah, like how like, the hell multiple times a week, I'm like, oh my goodness, we literally is a hustler. Yeah, we struggled posting once a week by ourselves. Like it was hard, and I like same as you, Abby, like before I understood this whole world, I was like, whatever, YouTube, that's dumb. But when I started doing it, I was like, wow, this is very difficult. Like editing videos takes a shit ton of hours. Time. So much time. So we would do that till 1 a.m. She would leave. We'd post every single Thursday, and we'd be up till like 3 a.m. that night. We'd have to wake up at 6 or 7 for our jobs. It was just to the point where this went on for like 3 or 4
or maybe 5 months. I don't remember.
Yeah, we started in June and we signed with Big Night. So literally when we signed with Big Night, in November, we made the transition to just do podcast.
Yes.
And we still do vlogs every now and then, but honestly, like we just haven't gotten around to it because it's just so much. It's so time consuming. Yeah. But when we signed with Big Night, it was like a sigh of relief.
Yes.
Like literally, like the weight is off my shoulders and I can breathe again because. Yeah. Like literally, like shout out Sam, shout out Kyle, shout out Buddy, Jesse, everyone at Big Night. Like they do all the hard work. Like we just sit here
and talk.
We do the easy part. They do everything else, and like we don't have to worry about it. When we leave the studio, we just have to focus on posting it and on like our Instagram stories and coming up with the content. Because honestly, coming up with content is not easy either.
No, but it's what we're good at and what we like, right? So like I think over the summer when we were doing the video editing, we have no idea what we were doing. I taught myself how to video edit. It was really scary because I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't. And I was so burnt out to the point where like to this day, and it's something that me and Abby talk about all the time because I'm struggling with it because I love posting vlogs on YouTube. Like I love editing, but it's also just it's so exhausting. And I don't know. Like I have footage from New Year's Eve when I was in New Orleans. I have footage from Miami for my birthday. It's all sitting on my camera. It's sitting on my computer, but I cannot get around to posting it because I think I'm still burned out from last summer. And it's crazy how like long that lasts. Like in my mind, I'm just mentally like, oh, like I can't do this.
Because I feel like it's like because we just are like traumatized from like the time and energy that we put into before Big Night. Like now the thought of like editing of like a Miami vlog is just like we don't even want to look at it because it's like, no, I just don't want to deal with it. I just don't want to bring that back. But it's like we want to, but it's like it's so hard.
I'd love nothing more than to be able to post that on our YouTube and be like, oh my gosh, look how cute and fun we were. But there's just like this part of my brain that's like, no, I'm not doing that. And it's just like it's like a mental thing. Like I can't bring myself to do it. And I guess the moral of the story is don't be scared to ask help, right?
Yeah, ask for help because literally Big Night was a godsend and we have all the help that we need now. But I feel like to relate this back to other people who don't have a podcast and don't like have a similar experience, like everyone has definitely been in a situation where maybe in their job or in any aspect of their life where they have too much on their plate.
Way too much.
And they're afraid to admit it. And they don't want to ask for help because they don't either want to admit that they need help, they admit that they're drowning, admit that, because they feel like they're going to come off weak or feel like it's going to make them look bad, but it's not at all.
I also think the interesting thing is in the beginning, you don't realize it. Like in the beginning, you're like, oh no, I got this. I can do this for the next 3 years. Like I remember I used to tell myself that like, oh yeah, this is easy. Like I got this. And within the course of like 3 months, I was like, shit, I can't do this. This is way too much. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. I don't know what I'm doing. So I think like before you reach that point where your brain is about to explode, I think you should just take a second and be like, okay, let me just breathe, focus on myself and whatever that may be. If you're like, I understand now why YouTubers sometimes are like, oh, I need to take a month off.
Yeah.
Like it makes sense. But with anything, like whatever your hobby is, whatever, like don't sit there being like, well, if I don't keep doing this and I'm going to come in last, or if I don't, post enough, or if I don't do this, just like take a second and be like, ultimately, whatever it is I'm doing in my life, like it will be better if I can just take some time to like focus on my mental health and just like being okay with myself. You know what I mean?
No one has their shit together 24/7.
No.
And no one can handle having 1,000 things on their plate. So I think if like we all just like were to like be real with ourselves and real with each other, everyone would realize that we're literally all the same and we're all struggling, and people are more than willing to help. You just have to ask for it. Yes. And like it doesn't make you less of a person or less of an employee or less of a boyfriend, girlfriend, anyone, friend. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It literally doesn't matter. Ultimately, like if you ask for help, people are going to appreciate it and respect it more, because whatever it is you need help with, they're going to be more than happy to help, because if you were to do that yourself, it's not going to be done properly or as well, because you're burnt out and you're mentally, physically, emotionally exhausted, and the quality of your work is going to lack.
Yeah, and you're also not objective. Like I feel like you overanalyze. Like I would overanalyze everything, whatever it is in my life. If I'm doing it for myself, I'm like, I'm going to spend 30,000 hours looking at this, and if someone else did it, they'd be like, oh, that looks good. I'm just going to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like literally sometimes like Shannen would like send me like copies of like something that she edited, and she'd be like, well, what? And I'm like, it's literally perfect, freaking post it. And she's like, well, and I'm like, no, do it. You're like, well, I've only spent the past 30 hours editing it. And I'm like, yeah, and if you spend another second on it, you're gonna go insane.
Yes, exactly. So true. Oh, what are you gonna do? Man. It's okay. Well,
life's wild.
Look at the growth. Look at us.
Look at us now.
We're the picture of health and wellness. Not really.
I don't know about that.
Probably not.
No.
We're getting better every single day.
Yeah, we try to be a better person every single day, and that's all you can do. It's all you can try and hope for.
Abby, that's so beautiful.
All right. Don't get all soft on me.
All right, let's hit the people with some drunk deets.
Okay. All right. So this one is a 2-for-1er. Okay.
Wow. 2 for the price of 1.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
Okay. So the NBA, National Basketball Association.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. NBA fined Kevin Durant $50K.
The NBA fined Kevin Durant. Okay.
Yep. $50K for using derogatory language used in a Michael, how do you say this last name?
Michael
Rappaport exchange. Okay. So basically.
Rappaport.
Yeah, literally Rappaport. Okay. So basically what happened is this guy, Michael, he's an actor. If you Google him, because honestly, I didn't know who he was until I Googled him. And when I saw his face, I was like, yep, I know him.
Yeah.
So basically he did an interview, with who? That Charles Barkley guy?
Yeah.
Who's that? Tell the people that don't know, like myself.
He's a former basketball player as well. You may have heard of him, people.
I don't know. Whatever. I guess he did an interview with this Charles guy. And come on, whatever. Get used to it. So Kevin Durant ended up DMing Michael about the interview, and he was like, you a bitch. And like, so basically like the DMs were kind of vulgar. Like they weren't like nice. I'll give the NBA that. But if you want to look them up, League Vibes on Twitter posted all of the screenshots if you want to read them. They're a little bit too PG-13 for this podcast. But basically Kevin DM'd Michael about it. You a bitch. It all like, again, go read the screenshots if you want. But basically what Michael unfortunately ended up doing is putting himself on blast and Kevin on blast and posting the screenshots.
Why?
To be a douchebag? I don't know. I don't know.
To be a douchebag?
I don't know.
It's a good answer.
I don't know. To be a bully? Like, if you're going to bully me, I'll bully you back. I don't know. I don't know what was going through his head. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea, but he did it. And basically, like, everyone came for him. Like, literally, he ended up saying, like, this is honestly really sad, though, but, like, also screw him because like he came for Dave Portnoy, and I don't if you have a problem with Dave Portnoy, you have a problem with me. But literally he was like, I can't go out of the house and get a cup of coffee without being reminded of the feud. Like, people are being so mean. Like, I know that I posted it, but people are being so mean to me, blah blah blah.
Wow.
Yeah, so the 2-for-1 is that, so I had to like, I found out that this Michael guy, I feel like he's just like
just to like go back though. So Michael posted this on his like posted the DMs, and now the NBA is suing Kevin Durant for it.
They fined him. They fined him $50,000
for using the derogatory language. Gotcha.
Yeah, because he didn't say nice things, but like
he didn't say nice things. It wasn't nice.
Put it that way. But so this isn't the first time that Michael is in some hot water, because in 2018 of September he tried. What?
Nothing.
He tried to sue Barstool. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea. I don't know why he ever thought that he would win. But basically, so Michael ended up, he worked for Barstool for like literally 8 months, and he got fired because he was tweeting at Barstool fans and like insulting them. So Barstool fired him, as they should.
Right, which I can never understand why he was shocked that he was fired.
Yeah. And then so basically, I guess Barstool created this t-shirt with like his face on it with like a clown, like, and then like also had this little mark below his lip, and which is like,
it was supposed to be like a clown with herpes or something.
Yeah. Right. And like he basically like sued Barstool for 1, like firing him without a cause, and then 2, like the whole herpy thing. And like basically it got the court dismissed it. They said that like there's no evidence, like there's not enough whatever, like and that was that. So it's he's 2 for 2. He lost both.
Like he's just like an angry little man child.
He's not winning anything in life right now, and I feel bad for him. I do hope he's okay, but at the same time, I kind of feel like he just needs to take a break from the whole social media thing, and maybe just like
maybe
chill.
he should just like focus all the energy he has elsewhere. Obviously it's not
put all
working.
that energy into something more productive, and like just stop talking. I'll stop talking. What's the next drunk deed?
Thank you. All right, Regine Page. If I'm saying his name right, I don't think I am. I've tried. I literally downloaded this app to like pronounce his name. I think I still butchered it. Whatever. He plays Simon, or the Duke of Hastings in Bridgerton. So it was just announced that he will not be on for season 2. Dun dun dun.
I mean, you know me. I care less.
You
but
care
how do you
well,
feel about that?
For the people out there that do care less, or that do care, it was honestly, it was hurtful. It was heartbreaking. It made me sad and mad. It made me really mad because, so I'm sitting there minding my own business, and my friend actually texted me this over the weekend, and she was like, "What the hell?" And it was like a casual post about how he won't be on season 2. And I was like, excuse me, because those of you that watch Bridgerton, you would know that like his relationship, it was like the Duke of Hastings. So Simon and Daphne, their love is like the central theme of the entire season. And that's why you watch it. And you want to know if they're going to work out, and they keep fighting, and he doesn't want a son and whatever. But they make it work, and it's like the most beautiful ending in the world. And then for all of a sudden the show to come forward and be like, oh, by the way, he won't be in season 2. Ha ha, looking forward to it. I'm like, screw you guys. So people are pissed, right? So he is not only like attractive, but he plays the character perfectly. Like he's the heartthrob. He's the Chuck Bass.
He was the one where, so you tried to suck me into the show by saying like there's a really hot character.
Yes.
And then I watched like 30 seconds of the first episode until I saw him. I was like, he's not hot. I'm moving on.
Well, I think he's hot. He is amazing. Anyways, but he's also just like a really good actor. So everyone's upset. They're pissed off. They're like, how can you just take him off the show like that without any explanation? Multiple people are coming forward, and they're like, we're boycotting Bridgerton. And the other half of people are like, something must have happened. He must have done something. But it actually turns out that the answer is kind of lame, unfortunately, because I know we look for the gossip here.
There was none.
There wasn't.
It actually makes perfect sense.
It makes sense. So Bridgerton, the show, so the entire first season focused on Daphne. And the show, by the way, is based on the books. There's a bunch of books, and each book is about a different sibling in the Bridgerton family. So the first was about Daphne. The second is going to be about her older brother, and so on and so forth. So I guess he was never really supposed to be a central character moving forward anyways. Like his storyline with Daphne by the end of season 1 was kind of supposed to reach its completion. So like they had their ups and downs. They figure it out. In the end, it's like a happy ending between the two of them. If you haven't watched it, I'm really sorry because I just ruined the whole show for you. Whatever, they get blessed with a beautiful baby boy. Anyways, the second season is supposed to be kind of moving on to the next sibling in the Bridgerton family. So that's kind of how it goes. And he wasn't supposed to be like a central part of the show. So nothing really like creepy or sketchy happened. It just was that he was never supposed to be. This is all part of the
plan.
It was part of the plan.
Like he knew that he wasn't going to be in season 2, right?
Right. So I don't think. I mean, because of COVID, it's tough because you can't really bring in like actors to kind of just pop in and pop out because of COVID. So maybe under normal circumstances, he would have kind of come in to like wave hi every now and then. So he's not supposed to be like written out. Like, I don't think he's supposed to like die or something in the show. I just think like he's not really going to be as much in it because the show is refocusing on other characters. It's like almost like a mini series every single season of the show. So Daphne might be in it. I think that's a little up in the air, but that's the answer. And also this guy, I mean, he did such a phenomenal job acting in the show that he's just getting like deals on deals. Like people are talking about him.
Yeah, he's going to be fine.
He's going to be fine. Like he's already, I think, signed on for like 2 separate projects on the side. People are talking about him being the next James Bond.
Oh,
the next,
whoa.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of
slow down.
A bunch of big stuff coming his way. And he actually said, he was like, when I signed on to the show, the thing that drew my attention so much was that it was a 1-season show that I had to sign on for so far. Because he's like, I wasn't committed to like
season. Wait, so was Bridgerton planning on doing a second season, or did they do it after it became a hit?
They knew they wanted to do more than 1 season, but it depended on how the first season went in terms of like their like reviews and stuff, but he was only signed on to do the first season.
Gotcha.
He was like, I liked that because I don't have to like commit to 5 years with a show or something.
Yeah, we don't need another Grey's Anatomy with too many seasons.
Exactly. So he's like, I, you know, obviously did really well, collected my fame, and I can kind of go off and
my fame.
Do
was he nobody before Bridgerton?
I don't know. I think he was in some stuff, but it definitely not to the
like this was like his career
big role
break
for him. Yeah, I mean, it came out in December, and the show's been like a huge hit since then. So,
oh, good for him. We wish him the best.
I don't. I'm
in your
very,
future
very
endeavors.
Sad. No, it sucked. It made me so. I mean, I'm not over it. Like, I'm still better. Like with the people out there that are better, I feel you, because I don't know if I can watch a second season without him. Like, I love him. I love the romance, but we'll see.
I think it's so funny how weird people get about TV shows.
I get really weird.
I know you do.
I get really weird.
I just don't get it. Like, they're not real. Whatever.
It's escapism. Like, you like to feel like, okay, like this is another whatever. It's fine.
It's fine. All right, guys. On that note, that's all we've got for this week.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in for another episode every single week. We appreciate you guys listening to me and Abby bitch about basically everything. And it really goes a long way. If you haven't already, go follow us on Instagram, @drinksafterwork_, TikTok, it's Drinks After Work. We just posted a new video. Go peep it, comment, whatever you want to do. Go on to, if you listen on Apple, go leave us a rating and a review. If you listen on Spotify, I don't really know if there's anything you can do there.
I don't think so. Just subscribe.
I don't think so either. But tell your friends about us, and we will see you guys.
Oh, we're not done. We you guys, just another reminder, freaking get your merch.
Oh, okay.
And if you get the merch, post about it, tag us, we'll repost you.
Yes.
Link in bio to shop. Shout out to Hubi. We have a new link. It's HOO.BE. Shout out to Hubi.
Abby was excited about that.
I was. Do your own research on them. They're wicked dope. If you know, you know. And also Manscaped. Code Big Night for 20% off and free shipping. We just have so much to offer you, and we'll have even more next week. So we'll see you baddies next week.
See you guys next week, babies. Woo!